Hello dear learners. In this video we are going to discuss about the celebrating diversity in happy classroom. By the end of this module, you will be able to define diversity beyond race and ethnicity and identify its various forms. You will be able to recognize and describe the various types of diversity that prevail in the classroom. The learner will be able to explain the educational, social, and personal benefit of having a diverse classroom, such as improved critical thinking and preparation for a diverse world. You must also be able to identify and apply strategies to appreciate and celebrate diversity, fostering an inclusive classroom environment where all students feel valued. Learner must be able to articulate the connection between diversity and collective happiness, understanding how a sense of belonging for each individual contributes to the well-being of the entire group. Learner will be able to create and implement an action plan to promote diversity and foster collective happiness, leading to a more harmonious classroom community. In this module, we will discuss the meaning of diversity, possible diversities prevailing in our classrooms, why diversity is important in the classroom, appreciating and celebrating diversity and creating an inclusive classroom, diversity and collective happiness, embracing diversity for collective happiness in the classroom, building a foundation of belonging and safety, prioritizing positive relationships. First, we will understand what diversity is. As we know, differences are essential, which enrich humanity. So, the diversity refers to the wide range of human characteristics that highlight our differences. And diversity is the variety of characteristics that make up individuals' unique identities, including race, gender, age, ethnicity, sexual orientation, body size, and abilities, etc. Now we are going to discuss the areas in which learners differ from each other in many possible ways. It is helpful for learners to gain knowledge from others whose ideas, beliefs, attitude, values, backgrounds, experiences, and behavior are diverse. So, the following are the various aspects of diversity that are normally prevailing in our classroom, such as in educational background. You know that educational institutions do not adopt a uniform approach. A diversity of previous educational backgrounds prevails, helping ensure a free flow of ideas and challenging those who might become set in their ways. There are differences in learning preferences. Learner possess various learning preferences such as visual, auditory, reading, and kinesthetic learning preferences. There are also various differences in mental adjustment and overall well-being among learners. Some learners possess better mental well-being in comparison to others. The differences also exist in genetical characteristics and in diverse cognitive, physical, and mental abilities. There are also racial differences. These variations are generally considered biological differences and often defined by perceived skin color. Such perceptions are often at least as social as they are biological. And in the classroom, learners come from various ethnic backgrounds. Ethnicity is a cultural distinction that is differ from race. Ethnic groups share a common identity and a perceived cultural heritage that often involves shared ways of speaking and behaving, religion, tradition, and other traits. The term ethnic also describes a group that constitute a minority within the large society. Race and ethnicity are sometimes interrelated but not always. There are also cultural differences such as ethnicity, refer to shared characteristic, language, beliefs, behavior, and identity that are prevalent in classroom. We are all influenced by our culture to some extent. While ethnic groups are typically smaller groups within a large society, we often refer to it as the dominant culture. The term is often used rather loosely to refer to any group with identifiable shared characteristic. There are also differences in the learner's philosophical perspective. Learner possess diverse viewpoint and interpretations regarding specific issues or topics. In a classroom, learners come from different regional backgrounds. Learners who come from different places often have a range of differences in ideas, attitudes, languages, and behaviors. There are also differences in socio-economic backgrounds. Learners' identities are influenced by how they grow up, and part of that background involves socio-economic factors. In a classroom, learners come from various socio-economic strata, ranging from low-income families to high-income families, and they exhibit diverse access to material and economic resources. Some learners belong to a single parent families and other are from joint family cultures. Socioeconomic diversity can contribute to a wide variety of ideas and attitudes. There are differences in gender identities. It refers to a person's internal sense of being a woman, a man, both, neither, or anywhere along the gender spectrum. A person's gender identity may be the same as of or different from their birth assigned sex. There are differences in the age. While younger students attending school are generally within the same range, older students returning to school bring a diversity of age. Because they often have broader life experiences, many older students bring different ideas and attitudes to the campus. There are differences in the religious beliefs. For many people, religion is not just a Sunday morning practice, but a large spiritual force that infuses their lives. In the classroom, religion shapes different ways of thinking and behaving. There are differences in the political views. A diversity of political views helps broaden the level of discourse in educational institutions concerning current events and the roles of government and leadership at all levels. There are differences in the physical abilities of learners. Some students have athletic talent, some students have physical disabilities. Physical differences among students bring yet another kind of diversity to school. A diversity that both widens opportunities for a better education and also help the students better understand how people relate to the world in physical as well as intellectual ways. One more area of diversity is the neurodiversity. Neurodiversity is a term coined in the 1990s to the fight stigma against people with autism and learning differences like dyslexia. It is used to describe the differences in the way pupils' brain works. The idea is that there is no correct way for the brain to work. Instead, there is a wide range of ways that pupil perceive and respond to the world. So these are just a few of the many kinds of diversities you will likely to see in your classes and society. Now we discuss why diversity is important in the classroom. The primary objective of education is to cultivate a happy, supportive and inclusive environment that embraces classroom diversity. So the educational institution attracts students from various cultural backgrounds, socio-economic status, ethnicities, religious groups and regional influences. So it is essential to reflect on the significance of respecting diversity, why it is important. So diversity is important because engaging with diversity in the classroom prepares students for the varied experiences that they will face throughout their lives. And the diversity is important because interacting with peers foster adjustment and teaches individual to understand and accept those who are different from themselves. It is a crucial skill in our global society. The students who thrive in diverse educational setting receive exposure to new concepts, values and behaviors that foster deeper, more complex and creative thinking rather than old faced ideas and attitude. So the diversity at the institution leads to more fulfilling social relationship and increased satisfaction and involvement in the learning experiences. As we know, the educational period of students presents significant opportunities for intellectual, social and emotional growth, and continuous exposure to diverse perspective enhance this process. And when experiencing diversity equips students to become better citizens, understanding and consideration of other ideas and perspectives enable more meaningful societal participation. And engaging with diverse group enhances self-awareness among learners Learners gain valuable insight into our own thought processes, life experiences, and values by learning from those with different backgrounds and experiences. So, we can say that diversity is a pathway to holistic growth. It develops individual intellectually and socially, and it enhances peer interaction. It develops citizenship skills. It provides exposure to new concept. So diversity prepare student for real world challenges. Appreciating and celebrating diversity in an inclusive classroom is important because in an inclusive classroom everyone should feel respected, safe and happy. We can embrace the diversity among learners by treating them fairly and ensuring equal access, opportunity and advancement for all individuals. At the same time, it is important for us to identify and work to eliminate barriers that have hindered the full participation of all groups. Promoting inclusion is key to creating a culture where everyone feels they belong and are valued for their unique perspective and contribution. So, these are some ways by which we can appreciate and celebrate diversity in our classroom, such as celebrate differences. Rather than ignoring differences among learners in the classroom, let's celebrate them. Some individual may try so hard to avoid stereotypes that they fail to recognize genuine differences. However, as we have discovered, individuals vary greatly and embracing this diversity yields numerous advantages. So for this, we can practice that every learner is special, promote their differences by praising their efforts. Celebrate individuality. Avoid applying group generalization to individual. It is essential not to view any person solely through the lens of group characteristics. Each person is an individual first and belong to a group second. So, generalization may not apply to them at all. Therefore, it is crucial to maintain an open-minded perspective and appreciate each individual for their unique ideas, attitude, and preferences. So for this, in a classroom, you should ask learner to explore as they are. Do not make general rules for all. This identity celebration bring happiness to young minds. There should be cultural sensitivity in your communication. Remember that your words can carry different meaning in various cultural contexts or for individuals from different backgrounds. This is especially true for slangs, which is best avoided unless you are sure the other person understands it. Be cautious about using expressions you think are common in someone else's cultural group. Likewise, since body language can differ across cultures, it is wise to avoid strong gestures or expressions until you can gauge that the other person understand your body language cues. So for this, always be cautious and sensitive with your words in the classroom and try to use positive slangs for all, which could enhance a sense of respect among learners. There should be promotion of multiculturalism. Make the most of the classroom opportunities to boost cultural awareness among learners. Look out for multicultural special events, cultural fairs and celebrations, concerts and various programs that frequently take place in society. So in a classroom, learners come from varied cultural identities. Let's try to celebrate occasionally their different identities, which would foster happiness in the classroom when differences are celebrated rather than judged. So these are few practices by which we can appreciate and celebrate diversity in an inclusive classroom. We know that people are happy when they leave their comfort zones and embrace the many ideas, cultures, and experiences around them. It looks lovely when we discover something new and different. We experience that feeling of joy and wonder. It opens new ways of exploration and we experience a new horizon of wonder. Suddenly, our world seems a little bigger and brighter. Therefore, in the coming section, we are discussing the correlation between collective happiness and diversity. Let's see from the lens of social engagement with the development of empathy and kindness. When we engage with individuals from diverse backgrounds, cultures, or life experiences, suddenly we find ourselves following in the footsteps of others, observing the world through a different perspective, and before we realize it, we are establishing a deeper connection with others. The objective is no longer merely to tolerate differences, it is to sincerely appreciate them. Empathy and kindness are interrelated. This lovely cycle shows that a more diverse social circle leads to more empathy and happiness. Now, see from a different perspective, a diverse circle significantly enhances our intellectual abilities such as problem solving abilities and creativity. Just imagine our minds appear to be playing a game of connect the dots, but instead of having a single set of dots, we have numerous ones. Suddenly, we recognize patterns and solutions that we never imagined. And each diverse perspective adds a new set of dots to our mental playground. Diverse groups frequently generate the most innovative concepts. Additionally, from the perspective of cognitive ability, our minds become more adaptable and resilient as we expand them to accommodate diverse perspectives. However, the most significant aspect of diversity is on mental health and well-being. When we live in a diverse community, we learn adjustment and creativity from different perspectives. It develops mental stability and improves confidence. So, enhancing our empathy, creativity, open mindedness, and flexibility improves our ability to navigate the ups and downs of life. We develop more profound relationships, identify more satisfying solutions to our challenges, and approach the world with a sense of inquiry. And it brings collective happiness. Embracing diversity for collective happiness in the classroom is a key to maintaining a happy teaching and learning environment. In a classroom, students' well-being and participation improve when they are noticed, valued, and assisted. Every student feels psychologically safe and has a strong sense of belonging and support in a happy classroom. When students are respected for their contribution, they feel motivated. So, the following are the inclusive ways for ensuring student happiness in the classroom. For building a foundation of belongingness and safety in a classroom, it is necessary for teachers and students to listen each other, showing compassion and respect each other. It is necessary to promote an environment where students feel safe enough to speak their minds and share personal stories without fear. It is necessary for everyone to feel more comfortable and trusting. So these are the cornerstone of a happy classroom community. For the development of a sense of belongingness and security among learners, the following feelings should be fostered in the classroom, such as we are all connected. So there is a need to invest in relationships. Relationships are foundational. Foster strong connections between staff and students within the school community to support a positive and inclusive learning environment that nurtures students' academic and personal growth. There is also a need to hold space to listen and share using circles. Facilitate community building and circles to promote open communication, collective problem solving, and mutual understandings. Another feeling is we are all worthy. So, value every community member. Recognize that all community members, including faculty, families, and students, share a sense of respect, dignity, and mutual concerns that strengthen the entire community. Each individual actively works to improve and sustain this shared belief within their context. There is also need to enact equitable solutions, ensure fairness and inclusivity, addressing the diverse need of students and staff. It seeks to provide balanced resolutions that consider the need of all parties involved, supporting equitable education. Another feeling is we are all learning and growing. So there should be a center continuous growth. Foster ongoing reflection and adaptation of practices to be responsive to meet the evolving need of the member of the school community. There should be prioritized conflict resolutions. Address conflicts by repairing harm rather than assigning blame. This approach involves all affected parties working together to identify mutually acceptable solutions and restore relationships. By practicing conflict resolution skills, we can build closer relationship with teachers and classmates, and learning to accept and move on from their mistakes. Students experience less worry and more comfort. In a classroom, positive relationship between teachers and students are the bedrock of happiness and inclusivity. It builds trust, psychological safety, and a sense of shared community. It has positive implications for the academic achievements and social development of both teachers and students. In a positive classroom environment, students receive criticism along with guidance and praise. It fosters a positive student and teacher community. In a positive classroom environment, teachers cultivate a strong relationship with their students, create conducive learning environment, and address the developmental, emotional, and intellectual needs of students. So, the positive teacher-student interaction are crucial for motivation and engagement of learners. The following practices can foster positive teacher-student relationship. Always share happy moments and enjoy joyful moments with students. These practices encourage a positive relationship with students and create lasting memories. These collaborative practices also enhance creativity and strengthen relationship among students. It is the responsibility of teachers to encourage open dialogue and respect each other's opinion respectfully. It will enhance their educational experience and build relationship grounded in trust and understanding. Always try to answer students' questions promptly, offering support that matches students' needs in achieving academic and social objectives. The sense of belongingness allows students to feel part of their learning journey. Always try to help students reflect on their thinking and learning skills. Encouraging self-reflection not only aids in personal growth but also equips students with critical thinking abilities that are essential for their future. They become better at overcoming obstacles in their studies and social interactions as they develop these skills. When a teacher knows a student's background, interest, emotional strengths, and academic levels, this understanding cultivates a supportive environment where teachers can employ tailored approaches, ultimately enhancing each student's educational experiences. Building trust and open communication in the classroom activities, kindness, and empathy. When students feel understood and respected, they are more likely to engage actively in their learning journey, leading to improved outcomes for everyone involved. So, the acknowledge the importance of peers in schools by encouraging students to be caring and respectful to one another. By implementing group activities that promote teamwork and mutual respect, educators can help students develop essential social skills that will benefit them both academically and personally. As we are aware that adolescents face unique challenges, so it is important to be respectful and sensitive towards them. By actively listening and responding to their needs, educators can help cultivate resilience and a sense of belonging, which are vital for their overall development. This approach nurtures their emotional well being and empowers them to thrive in both their educational pursuits and social interactions. It is also necessary to provide students meaningful feedback that encourages self-reflection and growth. By recognizing their efforts and progress, teachers can further motivate them. Students should take ownership of their learning journey, which foster a culture of continuous improvement and curiosity. So, understanding your student is crucial for effective teaching. By recognizing a student's interest, you can align your approach to their preferences and create suitable learning opportunities. So these are the ways by which we can create positive relationship with our students. So learners, in this module we have understood the meaning of diversity from various perspectives and examined the different forms of it that may exist within our classroom. Furthermore, we have recognized the significance of diversity from multiple perspectives. In this module, we also identify and explain strategies to appreciate and celebrate diversity. Most importantly, we articulate the connection between diversity and collective happiness. Additionally, we have discussed strategies for fostering collective happiness in the classroom. Thank you.